Hi, I'm Ewan O'Donnell. I'm 14 years old. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cycle tours.
I'm Ewan O'Donnell. I'm just approaching 50 and I've been cycle touring for about 10 years now. A lot of that with my two children, Ewan and Iona, and Ewan has been with me on this trip.
Hi, I'm Stephen. I'm 60-year-old with a bus pass now, and I've done probably about 10 backpacking tours before.
Hi, I'm Si. I'm 53. This is my first bikepacking tour that I've ever been on.
My name's Connor. I am 32. I am the founder of Zero Carbon Adventures and have done cycle touring, bikepacking for maybe seven or 8 years now.
Hey, I'm Phil. I'm 36 years old. I've been bike touring for years all over the place in America and all across Europe. And I'm here to fix bikes when they go wrong.
Hi, I'm Julian. I'm older than Phil. I only ever go on one-day tours, mostly with Phil. On this trip, I've mostly been in charge of logistics, driving the van with everybody's stuff, making sure when they arrive up a hill that there's a nice cup of tea waiting for them and a nice cooked meal at the end of the day.
Stuart Thompson, I'm 26 and I really love cycling. Cycle touring though is something that I always want to do a bit more of. I've done quite lengthy trips in the past, but this trip across Scotland was something completely new to me. In fact, I'd never properly cycled in Scotland before.
Ewan and I are heading north to join a group of adventurers on the inaugural Zero Carbon Adventure, Scottish coast to coast, from Ayr to Dunbar. Our first time joining a group ride. Will we keep up? Will we manage the gravel, the climbs, and will they survive 5 days with us?
Well, we're all loaded, briefed and ready to go on our zero carbon adventure, setting off from Ayr Travelodge. The good thing is, never had this before on a cycle tour. Our bags for tonight are loaded in the van, so we've not got to carry the weight of the tent and so on the ride. They've got an electric van to support us as we're riding. So I've got a slightly lighter bike, though I have got all the camera gear in with me. So time to get going. We are making our way through Ayr as we start our ride. Typical town, back streets and so on to get along, but slowly heading towards the sea, which we should be seeing just in front of us in just a moment. So we've just done our first major climb of the day, and you can see in the distance the sea spread out below us now. It's got some steep little hairpin bends on that climb, and bits where you're struggling to know where to balance your bike weight to make sure you didn't lose traction on the way up, but it's worth it for the view at the top. Absolutely fabulous views. Continuing to enjoy some undulating roads with fabulous views. And actually, for once we're travelling on some smooth tarmac. The one thing I would definitely say if you're riding on some of the roads around here, make sure you've got some nice fat tyres on, because the road surfaces in quite a few places are not exactly the best. Loving the smell of the gorse again. Definitely a smell of Scotland, that is. So after a while of cycling through some wilderness with gorse on either side, sheep and cows, we're back in a town. Just stocked up on some lunch and now heading out for a few more miles before we then pull over somewhere to have some lunch. But are we going to get caught out? The road is closed, but is it really closed? So we're on to Cross Hill, and it's a UNESCO biosphere, so really important area, bioscientific interest, and a beautiful area to ride through as well. We enjoyed a nice stop off in Cross Hill at our lunch, recharged our batteries, as in our physical batteries, not our lithium-ion ones, and are now about to start climbing apparently, but we're heading into the forest. Stripped down from my long sleeve top to a t-shirt. I think it's going to get a bit toasty as we're climbing up the hill. Just having a little stop for a bit of puncture repair work. Fortunately on tubeless, so relatively painless. The weather has definitely warmed up and we've had a long, steady ascent into the Galloway Forest. And a bit more climbing still to do. Well, after enjoying that long descent, my wahoo's just gone climb with some nasty pictures of red and yellow bits on the elevation plot. So I think it's time for the legs to start working again. But the scenery we're cycling through, absolutely gorgeous. I'm so used to thinking, oh, I need to get up to the Northwest Highlands to enjoy this sort of wild Scottish scenery, but actually there's some far more accessible on our doorstep. Well, not exactly on our doorstep, but within easy reach of the train system from Glasgow here in this part of Scotland too. Definitely a fantastic ride to enjoy.
Oh, the sun's come out for us up here. Stealing candy from a baby.
We're enjoying another long swooping descent, and even better, it's been freshly tarmacked, beautiful smooth tarmac. Absolutely gorgeous descent.
This is a gravel track, so just disclaimer, I haven't cycled this. But it takes us directly to it.
And up until now we've been riding on tarmac, but for the last section of today's ride, we're off the tarmac and onto the gravel. So a bit rougher underfoot, or under wheel, and a bit more wild around us. Well, we're coming towards the end of the day's ride. Bit of a headwind for our last little section, but here we are, our campsite for the night. We've arrived at our campsite for the night. My tent is pitched just over there. And enjoyed a nice shower in an outdoor shower, but it is a heated one, so very pleasant. We're not going to be able to enjoy the dark skylight. There's too much cloud cover, so we won't really be able to see the stars, even though we're in a dark sky area. But we are going to be able to enjoy a nice meal together, maybe some time in the hot tub, and just enjoy the sunshine. This campsite is we're camping. There's some yurts, there's a little lodge as well, sauna, outdoor jacuzzi, all sorts here. It's a really quirky little place, absolutely lovely, and fantastic views as you just ride a little way out of the campsite and over the hills round about here. I'm just heading up to the yurt to get the gin and tonic I bought earlier out of the cool box to enjoy this evening. There we go, one gin and tonic to enjoy now the tent is pitched.
Smiling awkwardly.
Oh, that's nice. You properly get down and get your shoulders in.
Well, the first day of our tour is over. Just about to cocoon ourselves in our sleeping bag in our tent, ready for another day of riding tomorrow. It's been a fantastic first day, beautiful route, fantastic views and sights to enjoy, and a lovely spot for our camp tonight, whether for those in the luxury of the yurts or for those of us under conventional little tents. Good night, see you in the morning. We're just getting ready to start the day's adventure. Ewan, how are the legs feeling?
Good.
Good. Are you ready for another 50 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed your time so far? What's been the best bit so far? How was the hot tub last night?
Good.
Good for aching muscles after cycling? How have you found the experience so far?
Quite challenging, but very, very much fun.
What are you enjoying most about it so far?
Well, all of it.
All of it?
And the community
Yeah,
spirit.
it's been great, hasn't it? Just the chats, the conversations of like-minded people along the way. How was the camping last night?
It was nice, slept well, but my head was cold, so it's the first time in my life I've worn a beanie all night.
Recommendation then, if you're camping and it's a bit chillier, make sure you've got a beanie with you.
Yes, yeah. Lamb's wool beanie.
That's it. Time to hit the road. So we started our second day's riding, just enjoying fabulous views over the hills, which have that, I think, slightly unique Scottish blue tint to them in this early morning light, with a few grey clouds scattered about, but no rain promised. And enjoying the clean air smell that we've got. It just, fantastic. Definitely clears the head, the lungs, the mind. Best way to start a day. We're on the happy path. That's what it's called. So come off the road onto a bit of gentle gravel path through the woodland, trees towering overhead, sunlight filtering through the fresh spring green leaves. Oh, I'm in my happy place. So we've just stopped by the river, and some braver folks than I have been out for a paddle in the stream, freshening themselves up, and I think Ewan's about to give it a quick go as well. My son has lost his mind. I've enjoyed a nice refreshing paddle for Ewan and full on dunk at one point. It's time to get back on the bikes and head on to Bruce's Stone. Well, after a day so far, a very easy downhill or level cycling, the hills have found us. We've got a yellow section on my Wahoo telling me it's a bit of a steeper gradient, and the legs are telling me that too. Oh. So we feel we've touched a bit of Scottish history up there in the glen, where Robert de Bruce fought his first decisive victory over the English, which of course he finished at the infamous or famous Battle of Bannockburn. For those of you who've watched Braveheart, you'll know that story. But wow, what a beautiful glen we have to enjoy today, and that we're about to set off now for some gravel riding through. So we're about to set off down this path here, heading down a bit towards the loch. A bit more technical riding to enjoy. Tough little ascent, and the ascent goes on. Gets a bit easier for a little while, and then we've got another red section to contend with in a while. We've done the tough red bits, now a bit easier gradient and a bit smoother actually on the track as well. Views down the glen are fabulous. Just slowly spinning the legs up the incline and enjoying the view. We've had a bit of an enforced breather. Ewan had a mechanical, his chain broke. Bizarrely, as we're coming downhill, so a couple of links taken out by some experts in our group, and he's back riding again. We need to try and find a new chain if we can at the bike shop en route. Another little mechanical, another puncture, quickly repaired, back on our way in a moment. And we've arrived at our lunch stop. It's been a long old morning of cycling, but we're here at the Otter Pools. The support vehicle's got some fantastic cheese sandwiches for us to enjoy. The stove is on, brewing up some water, ready for a cuppa. And the river sparkling in the sunshine by the sides of us. Gorgeous spot for our lunch. A little statue of the otters, because probably not going to see the otters themselves, but at least we can appreciate the statue. just having a bit of a mechanical session after our lunch break, and Ewan is having a change of bike because with his broken chain, it was a bit precarious riding it. So what have we got now to ride, Ewan?
I don't know what it's called.
You don't know what it's called? You've got a Surly. So there you go. And you've got dropped handlebars and S-ram, so you've got to learn a whole new way of changing gears as well. How do you reckon you're going to get on?
Oh, okay.
How does it feel to ride?
It's okay.
It's okay. So, a bit more gravel riding to do, and then a bit of road towards the finish. Good job we refuelled at the Otter's Pool. We've had a long old climb from there. A mile of steady climbing. God, I think we're getting towards the top now. A long swooping descent on gravel paths down through the forest, and now we're back on the tarmac and climbing up again. Well, after miles of wilderness and not seeing any dwellings of any note, suddenly we're back in civilization, into a little town. We're just tasting cream of Galloway ice cream, which apparently is the best ice cream around. Ewan, you've been trying this ice cream, which has become highly recommended. What do you reckon?
It's good.
Does it hit the spot after day riding? That's it. Ready to behave. The end of today's ride. Just got to find our campsite now. The end of our second day of cycle touring, and it's a very late night. We have really enjoyed our evening, just enjoying music and great conversation in the pub. Some fabulous fiddle and accordion playing, lovely conversations, of course preceded by a delicious Italian meal and pizza as well. Time to tuck ourselves up into bed and get some sleep, as it's almost midnight. See you in the morning. A beautiful day has dawned. Breakfast has been enjoyed. Some really hand-pressed oats, delicious for our porridge this morning. Bit of bike fettling's been going on. Bit of stretching going on in the background. And about to get on the bikes and get on. Slightly shorter day's riding today, but we do need to get on the move. Just a little bit of climbing, but mostly today is gently rolling roads. and it's quite a chill to the breeze actually as we're cycling along. So keep debating whether to put the long sleeve top on, but enjoying the freshness. And the sky looks beautifully clean blue. We're 13 miles into our ride and just coming up to a tiny little village where we've been promised a coffee shop. So, time to get a bit of caffeine in on a Saturday morning. So just a little way out of the village of Dalswinton, where we enjoyed our coffee and cake, is this beautiful tin tabernacle. So, built in 1881 by the owner of the Dalswinton estate. It came as a flat pack, chosen from the same catalogues that the missionaries would have ordered from and used abroad for their work, and it became a focal point for the estate, and is still used as a place of worship on a regular basis. And on today, with the blue skies, the red building looks absolutely fantastic. So we've just arrived in A, which has the honour of being the shortest place name in Scotland, and also the place we're going to stop for lunch. We stopped off at the cafe in A, at the start of the mountain bike trails and Forestry Commission land. There's a little bike shop here as well, and I'm just getting served my dirty chips with haggis on top. We're heading off the roads now and onto some gravel for our next section of riding. 12 miles of gravel to enjoy through the forestry. Tough ascent there. God, couldn't talk, I was coming up there. Too much puffing and panting, but a beautiful view of the wind generator as we did, which seems very apt for a zero carbon adventure. After a lot of climbing, we're now level or descending. Views over the Southern Uplands and the wind generators, generating lovely clean energy. And wow, what fantastic trails and views we're enjoying again today. We have safely traversed the bridge. Time to get back on the bikes and carry on up a little bit of a ride. We're just descending from the forestry with a fabulous view of the Southern Uplands in front of us, and the sun and the clouds creating dappled shade over the hills. How are you doing, Ewan?
Good.
Enjoying this?
Yeah.
You are smashing it, aren't you? You're doing fabulous on that bike. I think a new bike is definitely on the horizon for you, is it? That gives you these sort of options. But you enjoyed the gravel riding through the woodland. Yeah?
I'm ready to lock myself up my own phone.
Oh, well done. It feels very weird all of a sudden after cycling for miles through quiet forestry tracks and quiet country roads to suddenly be passing under the M74 and mixing it in with the traffic again. Fortunately, we're now cycling along a cycle route along the side of the A road that we're on. And some beautiful hills ahead as we come towards Moffat. Just 1 mile to Moffat. Camp for tonight is a bushcraft site on the edge of Moffat. Fits quite well with our evening theme, wood-fired. Pitching our tents, we walked through town to Moffat Distillery, where wood-fired pizza was delivered for us to enjoy before we were taken on a guided tour of the wood-fired distillery, one of the only ones in Scotland.
A little bit of distilling history, and because you guys are on the zero carbon adventures, we'll also talk a bit about what we're trying to do to save as much sort of energy and reuse any energy that we use as possible. So it's a long journey though.
A great evening at the distillery, learning about their story, what drove them to create what they've done, and now we are around the fire pit, about to enjoy some s'mores and just enjoy that gorgeous crackle of the fire and the smell of the smoke. What a perfect way to end a day. Porridge cooked on the campfire, tents dropped and loaded, and we're ready to set off on day 4. It's been a chilly start this morning, but the skies are blue. It's just a tad on the chilly side, so keeping the jacket on for a little bit longer. It's going to be an easy day of riding today, a longer day in terms of miles, but it's all road, no gravel sections to contend with, so my road tyres will be in their element today. And looking forward to exploring some more of this beautiful scenery. Well, at the little cafe we stopped at, it is really set up for cyclists. Bike store here. They've got locks already set up, so you just grab a chain with a key in it, lock up your bike against one of the stands, and then head into the cafe. Perfect. Just been fueled up with an iced Americano and a delicious piece of courgette cake, cyclist paradise, comfy sofas, delicious coffee, and you know your bikes are safe and secure as well. We've refueled at the cafe, and now we're heading on 12 miles to our next stop for lunch, and where we are going to also be enjoying a tour of some wetlands. Sky has greyed over a little, definitely a tad on the chilly side today. Need to get the muscles working again to warm up. Bit of a dad joke, weak verges, they need to go to the gym more.
Well, after a very tasty little lunch in the beehive, we are off on a walk around the wild marshes and exploring some of the history from the guy who looks after it all, who has had an amazing life. He's a paraglider. Acquired by Ettrick and Yarrow Community in 2021, Ettrick Marshes are home to one of the largest wetland restoration projects in Scotland, with a wildness far removed from the more managed landscape all around.
So we're enjoying our tour of the wetlands and this area, and just looking where they've chopped down some of your sort of commercial forestry trees and harvested, and now they're planting native trees, things like mountain ash and so on. So it might look a bit of an eyesore at the moment, but soon it'll be full of trees that are native to this area, and it'll be far better for a whole host of wildlife and ecosystem around them. Our bodies refreshed at the cafe, our minds and spirits refreshed by the wander around the wetlands, learning about the work they're doing there, and just finding out about the various plants, tasting wood sorrel, and yeah, fantastic. And I'm still just enjoying that clean air smell. Oh, right, 20 miles to do to head to where we're staying tonight. Still battling into a headwind, so it's not necessarily easy cycling, but I think it is going to be a bit flatter. So I might have spoken a bit too soon about it being a bit easier on the climbing front. For the next leg, we're climbing again. We've reached the summit, taking a brief breather for a photo and enjoying the view down the valley that we're about to descend. Well, we've made it to the top for the last big climb of today, and just past the sign for the John Muir Trust, which of course, the town we're ending up at is the birthplace of John Muir. But we're not going to get there today. We're just going to enjoy this descent now, back down to the valley, and there's a bit of riding to do to get to our campsite for tonight. Ah, Traquair. Apparently, it's the oldest inhabited Scottish house, and it's been visited by 27 Scottish kings. Wow. This land is steeped in history. We've safely arrived at the campsite, picked our spot, tent ready to pitch, with the door facing that way, because just look at that view. Oh, tent pitched, everything's in. And I've just enjoyed a fantastic shower after a day's riding. Lovely and hot, ease the muscles. And Ewan has been hard at work in the kitchen with one of the other members of the team, cooking up a storm for us for tea tonight. Ewan's been a practicing sous chef, preparing the chorizo and the salad, all for us to enjoy in a very short while. Oh, it's been a fantastic day of cycling on some lovely, quiet back roads, exploring the wetlands, and ending up here at the home of mountain biking. It's where they had the championships for, I think it's the international championships for mountain biking just here, and you can see all the trails over there. I've been watching the cyclists coming down the trails. It's the last day of our adventure cycling across Scotland. Just over 50 miles to do today to descend back into Dunbar. There's a bit of climbing to do first. Sat in the tent this morning, bit of light coming through the tent, listening to the sound of the bird song. Eventually I had to persuade myself to emerge from the cocoon of my sleeping bag. It was chilly last night, and time to strike tent. That's it, tent all struck, panniers packed. Time to head down and enjoy some nice warm porridge. The campsite here has got proper kitchen facilities and everything that we were able to cook our tea last night, and today is going to be the spot for our porridge.
Quiet as well, and it's all paved, so no gravel today.
Oh man,
you're gonna miss that.
We're all packed up, we're briefed for our last day of riding, and we're on our way. A little bit of flat to begin with, and maybe a very early cafe stop in today's section of riding before we hit our first and pretty much only big hill of the day. Well, a little detour there, discovering a pump and jump track as we were heading out. Couldn't resist. So Connor, Ewan and I all had a little go around to see how we got on. Got the adrenaline pumping, and on we go.
I think Ewan did the best, right?
Yeah, I think Ewan definitely showed the two of us oldies how to do it.
Absolutely effortless.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got around.
Yeah. Bit of early sustenance. I don't know whether this counts as a late bit of extra breakfast or a very early 11s, considering we've only done 5 miles so far. We're trying out a Scots pie. Delicious pastry on it. Carrying our way up the hill to the sound of oyster catchers flying around us and circling and calling each other. A long but steady ascent up this, and gorgeous views of the hills on either side of us as we do. Just making the last little bit of ascent, and we've been promised views over to Edinburgh as we crest the summit. Let's see whether we can see it. We've crested the hill, support van was waiting, coffee brewing, stools all set up, and what a vista in front of us. Can see out to the sea. Wow, awesome. We are swooping down the hill now with the views of Edinburgh and the Peebles on our left, and the cold breeze in our face. Woo! Wow.
We're going on a slight variation from the original planned route, taking a few castles. Looking pretty impressive down here.
Borthwick Castle, built in 1430, hosted Mary Queen of Scots, who famously escaped disguised as a page boy and endured sieges, including one by Oliver Cromwell.
Another ruin over in the distance over there. Crichton Castle, or the remains of.
Nice easy hill. How do you actually
Well, the challenge of going out cycling on a bank holiday, the bakery we were going to go to get some refreshment turned out to be closed. So, going to try the pub just up the road. Lovely pub lunch enjoyed. And we're back on our bikes. Next stop, the seaside, Dunbar. But yeah, we're heading to the coast now. And just over 20 miles or so to go to get there. Ewan and I are now on familiar territory, recognising the roads that we're riding on from when we did this cycling into Dunbar before on our previous coast to coast, and the hill up ahead we remember is quite a distinctive landmark as you're approaching Dunbar. In Dunbar, ocean stretched out before us, blue in the evening, blue skies overhead, and Dunbar Castle just over there. Waves crashing in on the seashore, sound of seabirds calling, and some very happy cyclists to have got here.
It's been absolutely fantastic. Lovely scenery, good company, and yeah, recommend it.
Really good fun.
My highlights the landscape.
Going through the forest park, seeing the stream in the distance. We could have been in Alaska. It was just amazing views.
Probably Loch Dee. Loch Dee is so wild and remote. It's so untouched by a lot of humans. Water and mountains and forest, it's like all of the beauty of like a wild place in one little section.
Going for a swim in the river.
Exploring an area of Scotland I've not explored before.
Oh, the wood-fired hot tub. That was glorious. It was really, really hot after a day of being incredibly cold on the bike and having a rough one.
The Dark Skies night campsite in the hot tub.
Jumping in the cold plunge pool with Ewan's help to encourage me to go all in was really exciting. But then getting back in the hot tub afterwards.
This is a good way to get away from home and just normal life.
Dark Sky retreat that we stayed at, and that was a fabulous place to stay. And whenever I had the camera out in the night time taking an astro time lapse, the northern lights even popped up in the corner as well as the frame. So really super special, and yeah, it's been a really great route.
Also, it's been great having a group of people to chat to in the evenings, learn from each other and share time together. Definitely a fantastic experience.
That's what inspired me to think, okay, well, I just want everyone to experience this now.